Bonjour, 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 and welcome or welcome back to the Waves of Your Soul. I am your humble French tarot reader slash deck goblin marine. Today I am super excited because we're gonna be doing one of my favorite videos ever since I've started talking about this subject, which is good mood decks. So I think I launched the hashtag in 2022. I feel like that's what it was, but you know, time, it's a social construct. We are all living in liminal space right now, so who cares? But I feel like it's been a couple of years at least of me talking about good mood decks, which are, as the name suggests, tarot and oracle decks that bring me joy, that make me happy, that bring good vibes. And I've definitely had this year some decks joining my collection that I can categorize as good mood, and so I thought I would do a 2024 editions of my top 10 good mood decks of the year. I know the year isn't quite finished, so there might be other good mood decks coming towards the end of the year, but you know, it's okay, we're getting a bit in advance. Also, I want to make it clear that whilst these are all good mood decks, meaning that they bring me joy, they put a smile on my face, they make me happy, that doesn't necessarily mean they are my favorite tarot and oracle decks of the year, because sometimes I don't want my decks to make me happy, I want them to make me grumpy. No, I'm joking. But sometimes tarot and oracle decks that don't necessarily spark joy still deliver powerful, really great readings. And so whenever I end up doing my top 10 tarot decks of 2024, as well as my top 10 oracle decks of 2024, you might see some of these decks in the list, but you will see others as well that I don't necessarily categorize as good mood, but that are powerful and intriguing and challenging, and that are all things that I also enjoy in my decks. So today though, we're talking about good mood decks, the top 10 of the year, the ones that made me happy, the one that made me smile. And honestly, with everything going on in the world, I thought we needed some good vibes. So let's get into it. If you're new here, I apologize in advance for the chaoticness. You should be warned, strap it in. In the description box, you will find all the names of the decks I'm talking about today. If I have time, I'll put links, but for sure, I'll put all the names in case you're wondering what this is. I'll make sure in the description box to also put my other good mood deck videos, the ones I've done in the past years. And you will find my other social media links. Mostly I hang out on YouTube and Instagram. I love sharing on my Instagram stories the decks I've been using, books I'm reading, pictures from Reunion Island, all of those fun stuff. So if you want to hang out, that's where you'll find me. And for my fellow content creators out there, this is an open hashtag. You can use the hashtag good mood decks to share your own top 10, top 5, top 3, whatever good mood decks of 2024. This is free for all, just have fun, enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's look at my top 10 good mood decks of 2024. So remember how I said at the beginning of the video, if you're new here, you should be ready for chaoticness. I didn't even last 5 minutes because I've been saying top 10 and I've just recounted my decks and I've got 11. So we're just gonna roll with it. I mean, apparently I can't count what's new. So I guess what I'll do is I'll do an honorary mention for an out of print deck, because all of the other ones I'm gonna mention are still in print. You should be able to find them. There is one out of print. So instead of counting it in the top 10, I'll put it as an honorary mention. So there is no FOMO or anything, but I still want to share it with you guys. The Zelda Tarot, The Legend of Zelda Tarot. This is a Kickstarter I had backed a while ago, but that I couldn't get delivered to Reunion Island, so I had to get it shipped to my friend, who then kept it for me, and then she sent it over to Reunion Island. And so I've been using this year. Obviously, as the name suggests, it is based on the Legends of Zelda games, specifically the last 2 games, which have been huge favorites for me. I've been absolutely obsessed. The latest Zelda game, the Tears of the Kingdom games, I've clocked over 150 hours on. I've been obsessed with that game. Anytime I need something cozy, or not, because there's definitely some parts of that game that freak me out and give me tachycardia, this is a game I go back to. It definitely was a highlight for me in 2024, and using this deck brought me as much joy as playing the video game did. This is currently, I believe, out of print. I saw that sometime in the year they did a new Kickstarter of the same deck, and apparently they had got better cardstock, which Thank God, because this is the thinnest deck I own. I'm normally definitely not a cardstock snob, but this is, even for me, it's like, come on, toilet paper would have been more durable than that. So I'm glad they did another Kickstarter with better cardstock for it. They might do another one later on. I don't know. It seems this deck is quite popular. I didn't back the newest Kickstarter because I didn't need 2 copies of this. But this is just so clever. It's fun. It's really smart. The way that they've linked the archetypes of tarot with the games brings me joy. It makes me smile. It's just so joyous. I've loved reading this for myself. I've loved reading this for others. I think I've used it in a pick a card reading at some point in the year. It's just really great. People who love Zelda will love this. Definitely, if you've played the games along your childhood or even more recently like me, then you know this is gonna bring joy. This is absolutely a good mood deck. I'm a cozy gamer at heart. I'm not like so much into scary type of video games and things like that. I like to play on my Switch in bed, especially when I'm going through a flare-up. A nice little activity for me, and this is just brilliant. So this had to be my honorary mention for my good mood decks. Because I am a glutton for punishment, I thought I would rank these from 10 to 1. Again, just to reiterate, these are not necessarily my favorite tarot and oracle decks that I've read this year, because like I was saying in the intro, some tarot and oracle decks that I've been loving this year don't necessarily put a smile on my face, but they challenge me, they make me ponder, they just bring other kinds of emotions. But these are really the top 10 decks that brought a smile on my face, that make me happy, that make me chuckle, that bring joy. And so at number 10, I thought we would start with the Tarot Frogs. This is by Nimbob, and this is a indie deck that I found at random on Instagram. I will try and remember to leave the creator Instagram down below. I believe that they don't just do tarot, they've done stickers and they do like merch stuff, and it's all linked to this little froggy. It's super cute, so definitely check it out. I don't love the box, I'm not gonna lie. Those kind of boxes where you have to split it in two, I don't know, my brain cells get challenged. I can never split it the right way, but that's just a detail. As you can see, it comes with a little guidebook, very basic, just some keywords for each of the cards. So if this is your first deck, I would recommend getting another RWS book with it, because this is definitely RWS inspired. Here are the backs, which are really cute. I love them. They're super shiny, and you can see the little frog, you can see the roses. It's adorable. The sides are also golden. This deck is definitely smaller. I would say it's more like poker size than a regular tarot deck size, which is nice for those of you who have smaller hands. And as the name suggests, the Tarot Frog, this is a deck all about little froggies. Look at that cute butt. So this is very shiny, it's very joyful. I've put it at number 10 because it's brought me a lot of joy, but there are other decks that I've used more consistently that fall into that cuteness category. However, I still really have enjoyed this one. It's been one that I've enjoyed bringing to friends because it's cute, it's shiny, it's like one of those that people kind of like for a little cute, you know, readings when you want something that is gonna feel a little bit more lighthearted, something more related to inner child maybe. It is very shiny, which is also why I've put it at number 10, because it can be fun, but it can also be a little bit blinding when you're reading in the direct sunlight and if you live somewhere very sunny like me. And it's also at number 10 because I have noticed I prefer the major arcana than the minors. Even though the minors are also really cute and they're all illustrated, as you can see, it's not a pip deck. The majors just give something a little bit more, I think. So this is adorable. It's an RWS inspired deck. It feels very approachable. Like I said, if you are a beginner, I think you could use this alongside any kind of RWS book. I do, like I said, love the majors very much. I think it's clever. I think it's cute. I mean, look at that face. You can see they're not happy to be at the bottom of the tower. And you know, when you look at this tower, for example, it makes you think about the ways potentially you've been building yourself up upon others. You could think about oppression and about like minorities of people who are not listened to. It looks cute, but I think you could go deeper with it than what it seems like. It's not one I've seen really anyone talk about. It feels super underrated, so I wanted to mention it. And definitely check out this artist page. I know that they do stickers and they do cute merch stuff with these little froggies, so it's adorable really. So that's at my number 10. Of course, before I continue in the ranking, please know that just because I rank one deck over another doesn't mean that it's better or that the other one is worse. These are just my personal opinions. You know how it is. All these decks are awesome in their own ways, otherwise I wouldn't have kept them in my collection. So this is just a fun exercise. It doesn't really mean anything. Please don't take anything too seriously when it comes to me ranking, especially when it comes to good mood decks, which is so personal to us, right? Something that's gonna make me smile might not make you smile and vice versa. Okay, number 9, I've decided to put the Rainbow Brain Skull Oracle. Now, I freaking love this artist. I've been following them on Instagram for I think a couple of years now. I've always loved their stuff. And then I think at the end of last year, they announced that they were gonna be launching an Oracle deck and that they were opening pre-order. At the time, I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds amazing. Let me support them. Like I said, I love supporting artists that I enjoy. So I pre-ordered the deck, only to find out that it was launching mass market maybe a week after I got my copy, which is the only reason why it is at number 9, because I love this deck, but I'm still a little bit bitter about the fact that I paid super expensive indie prices when this was already picked up mass market and released like a couple of weeks after I got my copy. So, however, this is just the name of the game. When you are someone who buys indie decks, you always risk ending up buying a deck that ends up going mass market. With this one though, the turnaround for me anyway was very quick. By the time I got my copy, I could have pretty much gotten it on Amazon for a third of what I paid indie. So that kind of stung a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. My ego was hurt. And that's the only reason why this is not higher, because to be honest, I freaking love this deck. I've used it a ton. I used it a lot for myself and other people. I think it's a great clarifier. It's one I've seen now a lot more people talk about now that it's mass market and added and back. And it's a good Oracle deck. It's unique. It has this kind of like gamify your life vibe. Very fun, very creative, very imaginative. This is a great deck for creators out there, for people who are wanting to tap into their creativity, who want to launch a project, who want to manifest something, give you that fire, that fuel while you're launching something, birthing something, writing something, creating something. I really enjoy this one. Quite unapologetic. It definitely has a point of view, like everything that this creator does. This is, like I said, the indie copy, so the cardstock feels really nice, but honestly, from what I've seen, mass market version do look just as nice. And if you didn't want to invest in it or were curious as whether this would resonate with your readings or not, you can get an app of this deck which holds the full guidebook, so you can pull some cards on your phone, see if you vibe with the deck. I do that sometimes with decks I'm unsure of. Sometimes I get the app and they're usually like a couple of euros, and it really helps me decide if I want the deck or not. Like, I've saved myself some money from getting the app before getting a deck, because sometimes it really showed me, no, this is not for me, and sometimes it showed me it was worth the investment. Really great, fun, creative, unique, I think, quite charismatic deck. Very interesting keywords and the messages on the cards are also quite unapologetic. So this is one I've really enjoyed, like I said, for personal reading, for reading for others. Also, I got to support an artist I enjoy, so really I don't have any regret. I just needed a way to rationalize my ranking, which, let's be real, makes no sense. I'll probably change my mind in 2 minutes, so it's okay. Let's move on to number 8. At number 8 we have mass market deck, the Supernova Tarot. This is by Federico Salis. This is a Lo Scarabeo deck, which is recent in my collection in the sense of like I gotten it towards the last trimester of the year, and yet it's already brought so much joy, so it had to be in my ranking. And it's only lower because I've had it, I guess, less time than some of the others, so it hasn't had its full time yet to really, you know, bring all the good mood vibes it could. But I feel like for sure this is gonna be a strong favorite for years to come. And look at the back with this beautiful tarot cloth that my friend Cassandra got me. I'm loving this. This is good mood or vibes already. Here are the backs, like I was saying. Perfect match. I mean, this is heaven right there. I don't need anything more than that, guys. There can be the apocalypse out there, but this makes me happy. As per all of Los Scarabeo decks, you have the guidebook in different languages, and for each of the card in English, you have a little paragraph for each. And what I've really enjoyed about the guidebook is that you have here exploring the symbol used by the artist. So not only do you have the meanings here of the cards, which are like keywords, upright and reversed, but you have a little bit in the guidebook that tells you why they've depicted things this way, which I found really interesting. At least for the majors, you have this, gives you the majors in the sense of the symbolism, but I thought it was fantastic to learn why the artist depicted certain things a certain way. It is not just your stereotypical little white book, it gives you something a little bit extra, which I appreciate. What really for me made this deck stand out, and why is it a good mood deck? It's because it's gorgeous, it's fun, it's campy, and I mean, look at that. Something about this brings me joy. I can't tell you exactly why, but it's like the vibes, right? It's the art style, it's this artist creation, it's giving a mix of vintage vibes, a little bit like the pulp tarot, which I love, but also campy. I mean, look at those gorgeous boots. I can't. I want these boots so bad. So it's a mix of like a little bit drag and campy, a little bit vintage, quite, again, unapologetic, quite bright and fierce and badass and with a point of view. This is just pure joy. I think, I mean, I don't know, just something about the people's clothes, and even like this genie, you know, that looks like it's in drag makeup with a beautiful mustache. There's something about all of this which is so me. I love these vibes, I love the colors, all the symbolism that has been chosen. As you can see, it's very RWS again, but you can see the artist's point of view here. I mean, the High Priestess is smoking a cigarette, devils are being held by bondage. You know, this has a point of view. I love the fashion in this deck. Again, another fabulous pair of boots and outfit from the King of Pentacles. Look at this High Priestess, like I said, she's smoking, she's quite badass. So this is a very fierce deck. Like I was saying, it's quite campy, it's quite drag, and I've read for my friends with this, they loved it. Like, it just reads like a dream, and people just really enjoy this deck because it feels quite joyful. Even when it delivers like messages that potentially could feel harder, this does it with a voice that's very, I think, friendly, right? This feels like a friend. It feels like a best friend. So it's like someone you can go to and who's gonna tell you the tea, but you can have a laugh with him. And the only reason why it's not higher on my list is because this I've not had very long, like I said, more like last trimester of the year. So I've not had as much time to bond with it, even though I've done quite a few readings with it in the last month or so. I can see this being definitely a go-to good mood deck for the years to come. I mean, look at this Hermit. So cool. So yeah, this is a very cool deck. It's colorful, it's fun, it's just, yeah, it's awesome. Let's move on to number 7, right? We're at number 7. Can I still count? 10, 9, 8. Yeah, number 7. We have an oracle deck. This time an indie oracle deck from a French creator. Oh, I love this one, you guys. It's so cute. It's great. It has tons of cards. Again, it's good mood. Every time I use it, it makes me happy, which is what this video is about. Here are the backs. As you can see, this is smaller. It's more like playing card size. The name of this deck is L'Oracle d'Isa Watt. Isa Watt is the name of the creatrix. She is a French indie creator. She has a tarot deck as well, which I really love, which is called, I'll share it with you, the Naive Tarot, which is awesome. This is a beautiful deck, but it's definitely giving more profound, emotionally tuned vibes compared to what I'm looking for in this video, which is like good mood vibes, decks that make me smile, decks that make me happy, and this is one of them. So first thing that makes me happy, there's a ton of cards. And if you have watched my channel before, you know I love me a thick oracle deck. Nothing makes me happier. I'm a greedy bitch when it comes to oracle decks. The more cards, the better. So I love the fact that there's plenty of cards. That makes me super happy. On top of that, I love the artwork. It's giving, I guess the best way I can say that is like naive artwork, although I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I mean that in the best way possible. It's that hand-drawn feeling that makes me think of childlike books, and that just feels very relatable and happy. I love the bright colors, I love all the associations, and as you can see, whilst this is a French deck and what you see on the cards is the keyword, so here we have the cat, here we have the scepter, here we have balance, for example. Whilst this is French, I think a lot of you guys could potentially use this intuitively because it's fairly like straightforward what is going on the card. So here we have meeting, here we have the wall, here we have bamboo, we have outside, we have aurora, the phoenix, tears. So you know what you see on the card is a keyword you're given. Even if you don't speak French, I think you could probably handle this deck and get along with it. It's super intuitive, and I love using this one for divinatory messages, for predictive reading, for looking at the week ahead, the months ahead, the vibes, the energies. Originally, this was designed as a romance deck, like for interpersonal relationship, romantic readings and stuff like that. I don't read it this way, but obviously you could. The guidebook does give you meanings, again, all in French, obviously. So for each of the cards, you get a few sentences about the meanings. And again, because this was originally meant to be a romantic kind of deck, a romantic reading kind of deck, the meanings are a little bit more tailored towards interpersonal readings, but I've personally been using this deck completely intuitively. That the images are just so relatable, so easy to, I don't know, read, I guess. And yeah, it's awesome. I have used this in monthly readings for you guys on my channel, pick a card readings, you've enjoyed it. I should really use it for a future romantic reading as well, just to see how it works like that, because I've more used it for general readings, to be honest, and it works beautifully. So I really love this one. I love the artwork. The price was really affordable in my memory for an indie deck with that many cards. It was one of the more affordable indie decks I've seen for sure. The artist is lovely, and like I said, their tarot deck is also beautiful, so definitely check them out. I'll make sure to leave the link to their work down below. But yeah, this is fun, this is joyful, this is happy, and this brings me good mood vibes when I want to do my predictive readings. At number 6, we have a themed deck for a season that always makes me happy and always brings good mood vibes to my life, which is Halloween season. And my favorite deck this Halloween has been the Halloween Wait by Tarot Collectible. So I had to include this in my rankings of top good mood decks because this made me so happy for the whole of spooky season. I couldn't stop using this. It's become my new favorite Halloween deck. It has put to bed other Halloween decks that I was loving, and it's become the best one in my collection. Just all the good mood vibes, so I wanted to mention it. The only reason that this is not higher is that this is quite a specific mood, isn't it? And whilst I'm sure I will enjoy pulling this out outside of Halloween, because for me, as I always say on my channel, spooky is a state of mind. These are the extra cards, by the way. You always get tons of extra cards with Tarot Collectible. Whilst, like I was saying, spooky is a state of mind, I still feel like because of the theming of it, I might not reach for it as often as all the top 5 decks I'm going to share with you. So that's the only reason why it's at number 6, but honestly, this is amazing and I freaking love it. So here are the backs. Like I was saying, this is from Tarot Collectible, who are an indie creator based in the UK. I love their decks. You will see another one of their decks in just a bit, so that will tell you how much I like them. They've got 2 decks in my good mood list this year. They always do fun RWS takes on different themes, and you can get their decks either like this or with extra sparkles on top. And this tarot deck has now become my favorite Halloween deck, which is quite a bold claim to make because I definitely have a few good mood decks that fall into the Halloween category. Like I was saying, there's something about spooky season that is fun, that makes me happy, like a lot of us out there. There's something fun about witches and vampires and zombies, you know. It's just a joyful time of year, I think. And this deck definitely gives me all those vibes, those fun Halloween spooky time vibe, but also remaining joyful and colorful and not scary, which I really don't vibe too much with scary decks, although there's exceptions to that rule, and I have quite a few dark decks that I love. This is more the good fun side of Halloween. I mean, if I was to read at an Halloween event, for example, I would find myself be comfortable reading with this for anyone. You know, quite family friendly, it doesn't look scary or threatening. It has some reference to pop culture like Frankenstein, got a lot of pumpkins, a lot of witches, a lot of bats and vampires and zombies. What's not to love? Freaking adore this one. I think Tarot Collectible is releasing a new Halloween deck, so I don't know if they're gonna keep both, if they're gonna get rid of this one and move on to their next one, but to be honest, all of their decks are awesome, so I'm sure their new Halloween one will be cool as well. This is just a fun RWS take on spooky season that brings me so much joy. Literally all months of October I didn't want to use anything else. Let's move on to number 5, which is another quite recent addition to my collection, I would say last trimester of the year. We have the Animal and Food Tarot. Oh my god, you guys, this is so cute! Okay, so this is an indie deck by Maruko. I found it randomly on Etsy. I had seen a lot of people, here is a box while I'm chatting. I think this is by Chinese creators originally. I found this randomly on Etsy, you know, one of those nighttime scrollings that you really shouldn't be doing but you can't help yourself. That's the story of my life. So I was scrolling on Etsy and I had seen a lot of people mention the Gourmet Tarot, which is a food themed tarot deck that looks really cool and that my Taurus moon really wanted, but I missed the Kickstarter and this deck got out of print quite quickly, and so that spurred me to go on Etsy and type like food tarot deck just to see if there was anything else there that would satisfy my cravings, if I can say that. And that's when I found this joyous deck. So here are the back, and as you can see, this is slightly longer and thinner than your stereotypical tarot deck. And as the name suggests, the Animal and Food Tarot, this is a tarot deck all about animals and food. What is not to love? Cute animals and delicious looking food. I mean, come on. This is just everything. So as you can see here, falls in the category of cuteness overload. If it was any cuter, I would have a heart attack, which is why this is in my good mood decks. Sometimes good mood decks are good mood decks because they are on a subject that makes me happy, like the Zelda Tarot, for example, or because they give me fun vibes, energetic vibes, like the Supernova. And sometimes decks are good mood decks because they're just so cute. And look at this devil with the little chipmunks eating their broccoli. So cute. It's again an RWS deck, which I feel like I think all of my decks, good mood decks, are RWS inspired this year. This feels very precious, it feels very sweet. As you can see, there's gold inlays on the card. We have, for wands, we have lollipops. For pentacles, we have donuts. Come on, little donuts. The swords, we have baguettes. Adorable. And for the cups, we have like little sundaes and things like that, little ice cream sundaes. This is just so joyful. I mean, look at those hedgehogs. I can't. I need to calm myself down. I need to go and touch grass or something. I've already done a few readings with this. Even when it's delivering again hard messages, it does it in a very gentle, sweet way. Whilst it's cute, still a very usable, readable deck. I love animals and I love food. My mood is in Taurus, so food, snacking, treats are the way I get through life, and any minor inconvenience in life can be sorted with either cheese or chocolate or dessert. This is just really adorable. It's a deck I know a lot of you would enjoy as well. There's something very childlike about this, something whimsical about this, and I love the food aspect of it. It really hits everything I wanted and more. Now I'm really glad I couldn't get my hands on the Gourmet Tarot because this has the food aspect and cute animals, which is even better. I think the only reason it's not higher is again because I've not had it that long. The guidebook is halfway in English and halfway in Chinese, I think. We have just major meanings, and then for the minor we have like a selection of the artist's favorite ones, but we don't have all of the meanings of the cards. So if you are new to tarot, definitely this won't be enough to understand the meanings, but if you're familiar with tarot, especially RWS, I don't think you'll have a problem reading with this. Okay, number 4, we're getting close to the podium, you guys. I'm excited. At number 4 we have, this one is so cool. It's just, there's something about it that makes me so happy. Again, good mood vibes. This is my second deck from Tarot Collectibles in this good mood video. What can I say? Apparently Tarot Collectibles is very good at making good mood decks. I have their Groovy Weight Tarot as well, which I've gotten in the last like 3 years, and which was definitely part of my previous good mood decks videos. So there's something about Tarot Collectibles, I think, which is very joyful beautiful and happy. And again, they're indie company based in the UK. This is actually a re-edition of a deck that came out in the 70s. Here was the original creator. He is Japanese, and he had originally published this deck in the 70s, and the deck had been out of print for ages. And then this year, the people at Tarot Collectibles managed to get the rights to republish it from him and his daughter. And so now we have the chance to be able to have these decks in our hands, whereas before it had been impossible to get. So I'm so grateful and happy that they managed to get like the rights to re-release this, because this is so beautiful, and it has quickly become my favorite RWS clone. Like, hands down, this is everything. I love the colors. There's something about the artwork and specifically the colors that makes me so happy. They've got two versions in Tarot Collectibles. They've got the revised version where they kind of cleared the edges and cleared anything blurry, and they have the original version, which is this one, which is the one I got when they were doing their Indiegogo campaign. I wanted the closest one to the original as I could, and I'm so happy with it. I don't care that some of the faces are not super neat, because for me it feels very 70s vibe, you know, tarot decks from that era, which I adore, like the Aquarian Tarot, the Cosmic Tarot. Those are all decks I really love, and so this is now part of this category for me, even though technically, you know, it's printed in 2024. The original images are from that era, and there's something about the energy of this deck that's so pleasing and very kind and energetic and fun. I can't really explain to you why I love this so much, because some people might look at this and be like, yeah, it's an RWS, what's fun about that? I guess it just speaks to my soul. And for me, I really think, coming from the colors, which are really bright and beautiful, and look at this King of Pentacles, it's gorgeous. The kind of tie-dye effect on his robe with the grape and everything, yeah, it's so nice. So this is officially my new favorite RWS. For a while there, it was a Moon Baby Tarot, which I still love, really still love this one, but I don't know, this one is like kind of taking the lead now, you know, it's kind of taking over. It's the battle of the RWS clones. And definitely one I would see myself be so much more tempted to pick up than the Centennial RWS, for example, which I'm finding these days the muted down colors are not for me really. I like bright colors, I like bold colors, so this is everything. We are in the top 3, you guys. It's for podium time. Okay, let's do it. So at number 3 we have a very special deck to me, one that makes me happy because it has a story. So this is the Sundar Tarot by my lovely friend Angie from A Cup of Tarot here on YouTube and on Instagram. I will make sure to leave link to her channel down below, the link to her Instagram down below. If you're not familiar with Angie's channel and Angie's page on Instagram, definitely go and check her out. She's awesome, and she is one of my tarot friends, obviously, so I'm super biased because she's lovely. And this is really why this deck is in my good mood decks, because it was made by one of my favorite tarot people. So obviously this is a good mood deck. As you can see, this comes with a ton of extra cards, like so many. Angie really did the most there. She gave us so many options, and as far as I'm aware, this is available still on Make Playing Cards, so I'll make sure to put the link to where you can get this. I think it's still on Make Playing Cards at the time of me filming. This was created by my friend Angie, who is, like I said, someone I met through my channel, that we now really bonded and became friends, that I love talking to and exchanging with. Obviously her deck is gonna become good mood vibes, right? Because there's something about this that makes me so happy, because it makes me think of friendships, unity and belonging. And not only that, but this deck is really stunning. So this is inspired by Angie's Indian heritage. It was created with the help of AI, and Angie really has done a fantastic job in creating a deck that I think really speaks of her heritage, of her world. And this is such a good reader. I've read this for myself again, I've read this for others. It's a dream. It reads really well, and whilst I'm not normally a big AI fan, this feels like it has soul. Honestly, it doesn't feel like one of those you know, standard AI decks that feel like they were just cash grabs. Obviously I'm very biased because this was made by my friends, but I can tell you this has a beautiful kind energy, and you can see how much time and effort Angie put into this, because she took a lot of time creating images, cleaning them up, adding things in the background, creating symbols there that would make this a very useful, readable, powerful deck. And on top of that, she gave us lots of cards to choose from, like I said, which is fantastic. So I adore this deck. I use it a lot. I've shared it on my Instagram page. I still need to do a walkthrough. I've been meaning to do that ever since I've gotten it, but because I've been enjoying using it so much, I haven't been like putting it back in order. I've been like always reading from it, so I need to put this on pause and make sure that I do a walkthrough before the end of the year. Although you can see a full walkthrough on Angie's channel, of course, so you can find that down below. Look at this Three of Cups, it's so cute. Yeah, so joyful. So I love this. I love this because of who created it. I love this because of the culture it celebrates. I love this for all of the choices that were made. It's just a gorgeous deck. It makes me happy. So that is my number 3. And for the little story, I have this red pouch to go with it, and I got Angie a matching blue one, so now every time I use it I think of her, because we have matching pouches. And you know, it's like those little things, right, that just make decks special when you have connections with people through them. Because tarot, whilst it can be a solo journey, it's also a beautiful community full of kind, like-minded people, and that's also very good moods, right? That is probably the most good mood thing about tarot. It's the people you meet along the way. Okay, we are at my last 2 decks. Ooh, this was so hard, because honestly, 1 and 2, I kept changing my mind. I might change my mind after I finish filming the video, honestly. These are so close, so let's just say they're kind of equal, right? I'm putting one in the 2nd place and one in the 1st place, just because I have to rank, but truly, they're very equal in my eye. And so at number 2, I'm gonna be choosing, da-da-da-da, drum rolls, the Bimit Tarot Big Mice Tarot by Owl and S. This is their first tarot deck. They have just finished, at the time of me filming, a 2nd deck on Kickstarter, which is inspired by this same world. Definitely check out their work. I'm pretty sure the 1st deck is still available. They're gonna be coming out with a new one. Of course, I backed the new one because what can I say? I have zero self-control, and I was just wanting again to support artists I really like. And this is a deck I've talked a lot on my channel this year. You've seen me mention it constantly. You've seen me read with it in pick a card. You've seen me using it on Instagram. It's just one of those decks that truly has been a favorite, and not just a good mood deck. So spoiler alert, this will most likely be in my top 10 favorites of the year, as well as this good mood deck video, because not only does this make me happy and joyful and, you know, want to squeal because these little mouse are so cute, this is also a very profound deck, a deeper deck than meets the eye. It's a great storytelling deck. It represents strength and resilience and adventure and journey, and it's just really awesome. Like, this is one of those decks that, like I was saying in the intro, it falls in the Venn diagram of good mood decks, yes, but also powerful and intuitive and very connected to something quite special, quite magical. So makes me happy, but it also helps me, it guides me. There's something about these creatures going through difficult times, the fact that they're all little in the face of adversity, the fact that they're all going on adventures, because this is quite fantasy based, and those little creatures are going on journeys and adventures and exploring the world. There's something about their bravery that inspires me to be courageous as well. There's something about their stories, because in the little guidebook you do have their stories explained. Each mice has a name and it tells you a little bit about who they are. Something about this really takes me to another world. It makes me escape and makes me ponder and gives me this wonder energy, but also obviously very happy, good mood vibes, because I can't be mad when I use these decks. Really awesome. I can't wait to get their newest deck. I don't know if I'll end up keeping both of them. Maybe I'll only keep one, depending which one I resonate the most with, and give the other one away. I'll see, but I couldn't pass up supporting more of their work, because there's something so precious about these little creatures going through the world, trying to make their way in the world, trying to find a place they belong. There's something I find very charming and touching about this. Let's wrap it up with number 1. Okay, you guys, we are at number 1. Like I said, number 1 and number 2, I could have inverted them, but a choice had to be made. So number 1 placement of Good Mood decks of 2024 goes to the Little Avatar Tarot by Push Kitty. This is an indie deck which is inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is a TV show I discovered this year, and which is a show that probably brought me the most good vibes out of the year. And so this had to be my top one favorite Good Mood deck of the year, because it's about a fandom and it's about a show that just really touched my heart, that made me happy, that just brought me so much joy, that I've already rewatched a second time, even though I've only started watching it this year. In the space of a year, I watched the whole series twice now, and it's one of those shows I feel like I could rewatch again and again, that would feel like a comfort show for me. So this had to be at my number one. As you can see, I have the mini edition because that's the only one I could find that delivered to Reunion Island. However, this comes in two different sizes, regular size and mini size. Like I was saying previously in the video, I don't normally like to have two copies of the same decks because my shelves are full enough as it is, but when it comes to this one, I think I would like a regular version as well at some point, because this is cute, but I like normal size decks a bit better than mini decks. So eventually I'd love to be able to pick up the normal version, but for now I'm very happy with this. And so if you're not familiar with Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's originally an anime show by Nickelodeon. I think it came out in the early 2000s, and originally it's aimed at children, although I will say even grown-up children like me can definitely enjoy it, because the themes of it are really deeper than meets the eye. We have themes of war and spirituality and calling and values and things like pride and hope, big themes around finding your place in the world and belonging. This is just a very, very special TV show. If you are looking for really a feel-good TV show, something that's going to make you feel comforted, as well as something that will have a deeper spiritual meaning, because this talks about the different elements and it even talks about the chakras, you need to check it out. You won't regret it. I've recommended it to so many friends who were like me and hadn't watched it at the time of this coming out, and now they're obsessed too. So many of them were like, wow, this has gotten me through tough times. Like I said, I've already rewatched the entire show another second time this year. There's something very profound yet joyful about the show Avatar: The Last Airbender, and this tarot deck is perfectly matching that energy. It follows tarot really well. It chooses archetypes and characters perfectly. Like, there is not one card I don't like in terms of who they chose for the court cards, who they chose to represent each of the majors. I agree with everything. Everything is perfect. Everything makes sense. This is truly a deck you can see made by a fan for fellow fans, and I'm so grateful for this deck. It's brought me so much joy. I've read with this literally just 2 days ago for one of my friends here who also loves this show, and I did a year ahead reading for her, and it was amazing. It was just, again, it's joyful, but also when you need the messages, the harder messages, it gives it to you. This is obviously very, very personal, which is why I was saying Good Mood decks are so personal to us, right? For those of you guys who have never seen the show or who don't like it too much, you're probably thinking like, yeah, it's okay, but I wouldn't choose it as my number one. But for me, this has brought so much joy this year. It has been one of those decks I go to when I need comfort, when I need to smile, when I need to be reminded that there's joy in the world. So of course it had to be in my Good Mood decks, and it will also very likely be part of my top 10 favorite decks of the year, just like the one before. I think these two have to be in my favorite decks of the year, which, by the way, you guys, it's gonna be so hard to make a top 10 tarot deck 2024 because there are so many awesome decks I got this year. I'm gonna struggle so hard. Like, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be giving myself a headache trying to limit it to 10. I know, very much first world problem, but there was some awesome decks this year that I've discovered that joined my collection. There was decks that I'd been wanting for ages that were on my wish list for years that I finally got. There were some new decks that I discovered. I really don't know how I'm gonna make this top 10 deck video. I feel like I'm gonna need lots of snacks because I can already foresee the struggle will be real to narrow it down to only 10. 2024 has been a great year tarot wise for me, so future Marine can worry about it anyway. For now, I want to hear from you guys. What are your top good mood decks of the year. You don't have to give me 10, obviously, you can give me 1, 2, whatever. Favorite good mood tarot decks of the year, favorite good mood oracle decks of the year. Let's chat in the comments. I love to read you guys. I try and respond to all of my comments. And I just want to thank you so much for being here, because honestly, good mood decks are awesome, but you know what's even more good mood? You guys being here, liking, commenting, subscribing, just sharing this time with me. You're the biggest provider of good mood vibes, way above tarot and oracle decks. So thank you for being here. Thank you so much for your presence, your support, your kindness. I am sending you so much good vibes, and until my next video, keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye!